It's Deck Days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We have a distinct honor right now to introduce you to somebody that millions upon millions of you already know. Known as Dr. G, Dr. Michael Guillen, he, for many, many years, was the science editor at ABC News. You saw him regularly on Good Morning America, Nightline, World News Tonight. Also, those of you, the History Channel, Where Did It Come From? The 1 hour primetime series was him, 3-time Emmy Award winner, member of the renowned Explorers Club, and more than that, just an author. So many great books. I'm reading one right now, Let Creation Speak, just one of his many books on science. Beyond all of that, I call him a friend and a brother. I love this man like you can't believe. Dr. G. Michael, good morning. How are you?
James, the feeling is entirely mutual, my friend. It's been too long, man. I'm just so looking forward to this. Thank you for having me on your show. Looking forward to our conversation, brother. Gosh, almighty.
Man, I decided, I was telling your wife, I was telling your wife, by the way, who's just also incredible and an author. We talked about her Christmas book and we have it here. But I was telling her I wanted to leave you alone because I know you were working hard on this movie, so I didn't want to pester you while you were still in development of the movie. The movie is coming out and I want to get to that. The Invisible Everywhere. But I want you to tell people that don't know you a bit about who you are, how you got into becoming this world-renowned physicist, mathematician, scientist, author. Where did you start? Where did it all come from, Michael?
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, James. Nothing like I would have ever imagined. I'm this little Mexican kid who grew up, who was born in East Los Angeles, just like Cheech and Chong, except I'm the real deal. I really was born in East Los Angeles. And, fell madly in love with science in the second grade. I remember my teacher, Mrs. Cook. I don't know what she said, but man, I just fell head over heels in love with science, and I dreamt of becoming a scientist. And that dream took me to UCLA, then to Cornell, where I earned a PhD in physics, math, and astronomy. And then beyond that, by the grace of God, I got to teach physics at Harvard for like 8 years, won the Distinguished Teaching Award there for 2 years. And really that meant a lot to me because, I think at my heart, James, I'm a teacher. Whether I'm teaching on TV or on the radio or in a movie or in a classroom, I'm a teacher. And then it was just really, things happened. I went to the White House twice. I went to the North Pole, the South Pole. I was the first correspondent to report live from the Antarctic to the North American continent. That was one of the reasons why I was inducted into the Explorers Club. But then I also went down to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean and almost lost my life while reporting from the Titanic. I was the first correspondent to report from the Titanic. I was the first correspondent to interview Stephen Hawking at home over there in England, and on and on and on and on. It's just been nutso. And now here I am talking to you, James Wood, Golden. It's like, I can't believe it. I've got to pinch myself. But you're right. And I have to say, apart from all my credentials, blah, 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 you really are one of my favorite people. And over the years, we've gotten to know each other. Laurel loves you, absolutely loves you. We always love hearing from you. And I know you've been always there for me and so excited about talking whatever you want to talk about, the movie, whatever. I don't. It's not just a pleasure talking to you, man. It's a joy. I've been doing nonstop media for the last 3 weeks, But this is the one I've been waiting for and looking forward to. So thank
Oh, my
you,
gosh,
brother.
you're so
Thank
kind,
you.
Michael.
No, it's true.
Michael, I want to talk about
Absolutely.
Artemis last night. So let me begin by asking you a question, your thoughts on Artemis, and then when we come back from our break, we're going to talk about your movie and what it is. But I want to get your thoughts on Artemis, and I want to ask you a question, and I have been waiting to ask you this question, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael?
go for it. Well, yeah. You want to ask the question, or you want me to give me just some thoughts? Go ahead, ask your question.
I'll ask the question, and then I want you to give me the thoughts, too, as you answer the question. Michael, how far is the moon, and how close is the moon? How far is the moon, but how close is it compared to the creation? How close is it, and how far is it?
Okay, I'll give you a perfect question, and here's the answer. The moon, roughly speaking, plus or minus, is about 250,000 miles away. Okay, so just think of it as 250,000 miles away. Okay, sounds like a lot, but when you think of what the radius of the universe is, it is 270 billion trillion miles. So, in other words, if you set out to go to the very edge of the observable universe, you'd have to travel 270 billion trillion miles. Now, think about this. It took Artemis 4 days to travel 250,000 miles. How long do you think it would take you to go 270 billion trillion miles, man? I don't think you're going to live long enough to do that. So that gives you a scale right off the bat. Creation is amazing, mind-blowing. And by the way, that's just the observable universe. Beyond the observable universe, there's an unobservable universe, and that we can never reach. Okay, that's a whole other conversation.
Well, that's the conversation that we're going to delve into briefly, because your movie is The Invisible Everywhere. So we're going to do that. Now, your thoughts on us going back into space, the Artemis mission. I tell you, I can't even explain to you the joy and the relief that I felt when I saw the capsule come down last night, splash down, and knowing that our astronauts were safe, especially it made me reflect on all the astronauts that we have lost in the space program, and it's a number of them. It's not an insignificant number. Not that any life is insignificant. So your thoughts on Artemis going back to space and potentially going to Mars?
Well, look, I mean, I'm a child of space program 1.0, Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, and then the space shuttle, the space station. I mean, I was the first correspondent to do a live interview with the Russian cosmonauts aboard the space station Mir for Nightline. So I grew up with the space program, and it inspired me as a child. But here I am, a much older person, witnessing the renaissance, really, the revival of the space program. And when Artemis took off, James, about 10 days ago, it was on a Wednesday. Actually, it came out, I think it launched, about 10 days ago. I mean, from launch pad 39A, that is like legendary launch pad. That's where we launched the first Apollo to the moon. I mean, I literally had tears in my eyes when those engines ignited. I mean, I'll just tell you, I had tears in my eyes. I choked up. And then, you're absolutely right. Last night, Laurel and I were sitting there watching the splashdown live. And there's that moment, when they go into the atmosphere and they have what's called loss of signal, LOS, because of the plasma that surrounds the capsule as it's coming through. It creates all kinds of ions in the atmosphere due to friction. And it blocks any radio signals in or out. So for 6 minutes or 6 minutes plus, we didn't know what was happening. I mean, it could have incinerated, and we would never hear from them again. And so when they acquired the signal, AOS, acquisition of signal again, and they said, Houston, this is integrity. It was like, oh, thank you, Lord. And then you see that beautiful image of it just splashing down just outside of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean. Man, I mean, you have to have a heart of stone not to react to that emotionally. It was emotional, and I'm excited about going back to the moon, but I wish we had gone back, 50 years ago, James. I mean,
Yep.
But let's not dwell on the negative. The positive is we're back.
But you know something? There is a positive in that. It had gotten so people stopped watching because, like, okay, we're doing that again and again. Now, because of this tremendous gap of over a half a century, this is the first time a new generation of people are seeing what is possible. And it is a great thing. Doctor, you were an atheist. You're not. And you have a new movie, The Invisible Everywhere. Michael, tell us about your movie. Tell us why, what it is.
Yeah, well, you know, in the last segment, James, we talked about this crazy journey that I've taken as a scientist, but it got even crazier because when I fell madly in love back in the second grade, I figured, well, you know, any self-respecting would-be scientist should live by a really strict motto, seeing is believing. If I can't see something, I'm not going to believe it. And so I lived that life, and then as a teenager, I must have been late middle school, early high school, I taught myself the special theory of relativity, and it was a real kind of mic drop moment for me because I discovered that Einstein's theory was saying there are actually hidden worlds out there, invisible worlds in space-time, and it blew me away. And I talk about that in the movie. The movie basically is my journey from atheism to believing in God, and more than that, it's a journey where science shattered my atheism and opened my eyes to the existence of God. So that's what the movie is all about. But when I discovered that Einstein's theory was telling me that there are hidden worlds out there, how could I still live by the motto, seeing is believing, if I can't see these other worlds? And so I had to ditch that motto. And in the end, I discovered that the real motto I needed to live by was believing is seeing. So, for example, if I didn't even believe in the scientific method, there's no way I can prove to you that scientific method leads to reliable truths. I mean, some truths are reliable, maybe not. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I can't prove them. Science can't prove any of its major theories. All I can say is that these theories are consistent with the current evidence. So my whole world was kind of turned upside down, and it was all because of science, James. It wasn't some preacher. It wasn't anything. It was just science pointed like a giant finger to the existence of God, and that just shocked me. I didn't expect that, and that's what this movie's about.
Okay, what is the invisible everywhere?
Well, when I got to grad school, I discovered that there is the observable universe, which we talked about last time, which has a radius of about 270 billion trillion miles, right? But beyond that, beyond what we call the cosmic horizon, there is an invisible universe whose light we can never see. It's just permanently and 100% invisible to us. But the real shocker for me was that the observable universe, when you look up at the night sky and look at the stars and the galaxies and you go, ooh, and awe, well, I learned in grad school that 95% of the observable universe is actually not observable. It's invisible to us in the form of dark matter, dark energy. And so here again, it was a real blow to my motto, seeing is believing. And so, and it wasn't just that. It was just a gradual erosion of all the things that I once believed that were no longer true that pointed to the existence of God. So, for example, what is human consciousness? We talk about the brain. The brain is located between our two ears. That's easy. I've held a human brain in my hand. But what about the mind? The mind is very different. Where are your thoughts located? And people for many years thought that the brain generated the thoughts through electrical activity, the neurons. Well, we know better now. We know now that when people flatline, when their brain is dead, their mind keeps working. It's called terminal lucidity. And I interviewed in the movie, I interviewed the world's leading expert, Dr. Bruce Grayson, on near-death experiences, and he was raised an atheist. And he has discovered that, yes, something lives on. It's called persistence of consciousness, that our minds, our spirits live on after we die. So all of this just conspired to point to God. The other thing is, are we alone? Or there's other life in the universe? Why is the universe wired for life? Is that a coincidence or not? These are questions I deal with in the movie. And when you see the movie, if you approach the movie with an open mind, you're going to see what happened to me as an atheist. So when you sit down and watch the movie, you're introduced to me as the atheist. And then little by little, minute by minute, over the course of an hour and 20 minutes, which is how long the movie is, you will see how modern science gradually eroded, shattered, thoroughly demolished my atheism and revealed the existence of God. It's not me preaching. It's not my opinion. You will see for yourself what modern science did to me. It turned my life upside down. And that's what makes, I think, the movie so exciting. It's not preaching. It's just all about what modern science has to say about these deep questions.
It is truly a remarkable story. And where can people find your movie, The Invisible Everywhere, Michael?
Well, because I have followers all over the world, I didn't want to just go with theaters. I did that with my previous movie, Little Red Wagon, which is distributed by Lionsgate. This is a very unconventional movie. So all people have to do, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you believe, whatever you don't believe, just go to theinvisibleeverywhere.com. Theinvisibleeverywhere.com. It'll take you to a box office. You can rent the movie, buy the movie. You can host a screening, just like you would any four-walled theater, except that this is worldwide. Whether you're in Hungary, Thailand, the UK, wherever you are, you can watch the movie right now.
Theinvisibleeverywhere.com is where people can find this remarkable movie. Michael, our time is running out, but I have to just say up front, number one, I have to have you back now that your movie's done, because we have other things to discuss. This idea of consciousness, there was another scientist who said that human consciousness comes from another dimension. And then when you start talking about it, and we've talked about this before, these ideas of the invisible everywhere, they pop up in ancient writings from mystics. They pop up everywhere. In fact, there's so much of science that gets reflected in writings that people have just totally overlooked. And it all sort of connects. So, Michael, I want to thank you. It's theinvisibleeverywhere.com, and you will come back and join us again, please.
It'll be my honor. God bless you and your listeners, James. You are amazing. That's why I love talking to you. You have a mind that is just amazing. God bless you. Until the next time, man.
God bless you, Michael, too. I just love it. Folks, he is just such a gem, isn't he? He's just so wonderful. Dr. G. I love this man so much. The movie is The Invisible Everywhere. And I'll tell you what, a journey from a scientific atheist to a believer. Science proves the existence of God. It is remarkable.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.